Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Alrighty, folks, welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I am the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. We have a show for you today. Let me tell you what, there's so much going on right now that sometimes I have to sit there and actually search for articles and search for stories to bring you that are actually interesting. You know, HP's fourth quarter earnings were down. You know, who cares, right? Is that HP Eco printer thing with the tanks kind of like the Eco tank? Is it good? You know, that's what you want to know, right? I mean, you don't really care about the stocks. You know, you want to know the tech stuff. So some days I have to search to find something that's interesting. And then sometimes it's not quite that interesting, but it's the best I can find. Other days like today, I have to choose which story we're going to cover because there's just so flipping much to talk about. So first of all, welcome in. You're listening to Compute This. Number to join us on the show. If you want to give us a call, be a part of the show, ask a question, make a comment, we'll put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Number is 888-250-2091. 888-250-2091. We're also broadcasting live this morning at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. If you haven't seen the new camera set up yet, we've got some lighting and a new camera and all kinds of cool stuff trying to make that feed a little bit more cool for you. And apparently it's zoomed in more now. So like you can see every nose hair. It's pretty spectacular. Let me tell you what. You want to see this. I probably just cut my viewership in half with that comment. Dang it. All right. Anyway, last week, if you missed the show last week, it is all available on our website at SchrockInnovations.com, the audio as well as the video. It's also available through your favorite broadcasting service. But last week on the program, we told you about the Black Cat Gang. And no, it's not like that. Sounds like a rock group from the 80s. But no, the Black Cat Gang is a Russian gang that is stealing hospital data. And they happen to target an oncology hospital. And they're stealing oncology photos of naked people with their scans. And then the hospital won't pay the ransom, so they're releasing them. They're releasing these photos of the naked patients, as well as their medical histories and things like that. We also told you about ChatGPT and the updates to that last week. We also warned about deepfake technology being paired, deepfake audio tech being paired with AI. You get a little taste of this on the radio once in a while. Some radio hosts are using rudimentary systems to impersonate celebrities. And, it's funny. It's haha. You can tell it's a computer. It's not that person. But the more advanced systems that are out there with more processing power behind them can be convincing, especially given a large audio sample to pull from. Public figures, radio hosts, things like that. Let's bring Rush back. Wouldn't that be crazy? Kind of like an Aretha Franklin kind of thing. We could have a hologram, It'd be, oh, man. Deep fake audio. Also, I want to remind you once again that the maintenance checkup sale is currently going on at Schrock Innovations. There is, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this without violating non-disclosures and non-competes. There is a consolidation happening in the local computer repair markets in Omaha, Lincoln, and Des Moines. The number of companies that you have to choose from for your computer repair services are shrinking. Not because, the economy is terrible and they're all failing. No, it's because a lot of these businesses, the big thing in our industry right now is managed service provider, is subscription-based services to businesses. Because if I serve one business, I can generate the same monthly revenue it would take for me serving 5 customers or 6 customers in an ideal month. So would you not rather deal with one customer and have the same revenue flow? And it's easier on your people. The problems are all very similar. Whereas with consumers, one person will come in and ask me why their brother's keeper's genealogy software isn't working. And I just shake my head like, oh my gosh, this stuff is terrible. This software, it was never rewritten for Windows 7, let alone Windows 8 or Windows 10 or Windows 11. I wonder why it's not working right. And then we have to jimmy rig it and figure it out. So you can have those customers, or you can have the big business customer that calls you and says, my QuickBooks won't load. And then you're on a remote session for 5 minutes. You're doing some patches every month for them. You have software that does that automatically anyway, so you don't really need to do anything there. And you're just cashing the checks. That's what most computer repair businesses want to do. Heck, maybe that's what we should be doing, right? Except from the very beginning, the actual inception story of Schrock is based on service to consumers. And the times were different, and the technology was different, and the world was different. There was no internet, there was no Amazon. Everything was different. But what we have seen through all these advents of technology over 24 years, the one thing that everybody still wants, the one thing that technology has not been able to replace, is service. Is one person taking care of another person or people's. You can't automate that. You can try. Maybe we're getting close with AI, right? Years to go before it's convincing. But maybe we're getting there, right? Sometimes you'd rather talk to the computer than the human. It just depends on which human you get. Because service is expensive to deliver, service is complex to deliver. Everybody's experience. How do you deliver good customer service experiences when everybody's expectations are different? Big challenge. Lastly, why would you go through all that work if you could just take your business and become a corporate entity instead and just serve businesses out there? Now, Schrock serves businesses also, but the funny thing about it is the way that we've been able to serve customers so well is we took services that normally are reserved only for businesses, and we have made them accessible to individual consumers, like Sophos Antivirus. You can go buy Sophos Home. Do you know when you get Sophos Home, it's not the same Sophos that we give you? It's not. So the stuff that you're getting when you buy Sophos from Schrock is corporate-grade antivirus. It is the best you can get. But you can't buy that normally because you're just a consumer. And it's too hard. You don't understand. You'd have to be too technical to implement it and to manage it and to understand that you can't just install it and forget about it like your consumer antivirus. You actually have to pay attention to the logs and the reports and like a network administrator, process them. Nobody's going to do that. You need someone to do that for you, and Sophos isn't going to do it for you, so we do. Now, the reason I'm bringing all this up, I had a conversation with a company. I'm not going to name or anything like that, but I had a conversation with a company. They're considering leaving the consumer market. They are considering abandoning the 6,000 customers that they have to move into business-only stuff. Of their 6,000 customers, they're servicing about 1,300 of them a year. That's so that, they're not servicing all 6,000. And this is normal. Our customer list is huge, but we don't service every one of them every year, right? And they want a completely unreasonable amount of money. The cost to acquire each customer is so high that I could give 1,300 people a free laptop, have 1,300 guaranteed new customers, and have a lower cost of acquisition per customer. That's how expensive it was. And so, it's one of those things where, nothing's going to probably come of it, but we had a good conversation. We understand each other better now, and I understand the motivation. It's what everybody else is doing. Maybe I probably shouldn't have said, well, it doesn't really matter what you do. We're going to get your customers anyway. I probably shouldn't have said that, but anyway, I digress. The point I'm making is one of the reasons why Schrock has such a high interaction rate with its customers is because one of the things that you need to do with your technology to preserve it, to keep it working well, to keep it from breaking, doesn't mean it's not going to break down, but to keep it, to reduce the probability of that happening, is you need preventative maintenance. And we have so many customers that come in once or twice a year to have us blow out the fans, check all the power systems, make sure the hard drives are running, not just running well, not just Drive Advisor saying 100%, but actually running at the speed they're supposed to be running as well. We check all these things out, And then we make adjustments. We let you know where your computer stands, and then you have all the information you need to make an informed decision. Do I put money into this computer? Do I wait? Do I let it run into the ground, or do I keep it running at optimal speed and efficiency? That doesn't happen anywhere else with any other company in Omaha, Lincoln, or Des Moines. This, this idea that a company would encourage you to take care of your technology to prevent it from breaking down flies in the face of the standard computer repair business model of we wait for something to break and then we come in and fix it, and we're your geek guy and we fix it. If you maintain your stuff, it doesn't break as often, which means you're not coming in for repairs as often, which means we're receiving less money from you repairing your stuff because it's not breaking, right? But the thing that we're trading that revenue for, that income for, that money that you would be paying any other computer repair shop, the thing that we are getting instead of that is loyalty. The thing that we are getting instead is appreciation. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for taking care of my stuff. This is awesome that there's somebody out there that will do what is right as opposed to what is efficient. And folks, I have to tell you, look at the news right now. And you tell me anybody else out there in any industry right now that is doing what is right instead of, succumbing to greed or whatever is most efficient for profit driving. I mean, even the oil companies aren't. I mean, big oil's not even doing it. It's like, tell me somebody who's doing this out there. It's completely the opposite way. It's bizarro world for our industry, for our world right now. And yet we continue to plod on doing our thing, knowing that one customer at a time, people are going to realize, some of our customers do leave and they do go somewhere else and they try out the service somewhere else. There's nothing wrong with that. We see it when you bring your computer back in. We see our competitor stickers on them, and we're like, okay, it is what it is. But you're back. Why are you back? It's an interesting question to ask. So when we do a preventative maintenance checkup sale, this is our way of incentivizing you to get the maintenance that you need. This in the military, they say, get off the X. This is us getting you off the X, moving you forward. This is us getting you to change your furnace filters like I did last week. Now I have to remember to order more furnace filters before next month. So I don't have an excuse, right? This is us trying to make sure that your technology works for you going forward. And that's why when we send out a blast to our customer list of 35,000 customers between 3 different cities, that, a dozen, 2 dozen of them add themselves to the unsubscribe list. They don't want to hear about it. That's normal. But the vast majority of our customers will either come in for a maintenance checkup while it's on special, because, why wouldn't you save 40% off the normal cost of something that you need anyway? Or number 2, they'll say, now's not a good time, so I'll just buy that certificate at SchrockInnovations.com. Or if you don't do the online purchase thing, you can call the service center, because service center, where we will actually have a human who answers the phone and will actually process the transaction for you. It's kind of nice. So you can get a certificate, and that certificate is good anytime in the next 6 months. So when you're getting ready to go on summer vacation, you're like, now's a good time to drop the computer off. You can drop it off. Have us do the maintenance on it. When you get back from vacation, it's tuned up and ready to go. This is the way, as the Mandalorian would say. This is how we do what we do. And it's not a complex formula. It's just not the most economically efficient driver of profits in the short term. And everyone's looking at the short term right now. Everybody from your next door neighbor to the Federal Reserve is looking at the short term right now. If we would looked at the short term, we wouldn't have made it 24 years. We would be one of these other companies out there with 6,000 customers, servicing 1/6 of our customer base annually, wondering if it was worth the trouble. And coming to the conclusion, and many times, short-term economically speaking, it is not. And that's why you're seeing the attrition that you're seeing in our industry. So what does this have to do with you? What do you care about our industry? When you need someone to sell you a computer and you realize suddenly that Best Buy is gone, like the one in Papillion just closed, They're getting out of the malls. I wouldn't be surprised if Village Point had an issue at some point with Best Buy, either renegotiating rents. I don't know when their term is due, or moving to another area. You can see the one on Dodge Street. It's a much smaller footprint, very small, very small store. Same thing with the Best Buy in West Des Moines. It's sitting there in the mall, super expensive. We looked at the mall. We're not in the mall. We were not going to pay that. Best Buy is paying that right now, and that's a big driver for their cost, and they need to get out from under it. So when Best Buy is gone, and you realize that where else are you going to go in town and buy a computer right now? I guess you're going to have to order online from Dell or HP or whatever, and then go through the grinder there, and then if something goes wrong, you'll call, and the guy from the other country will help you for a little while. And then if you have to mail it in, maybe they send you a box, maybe they don't. So you send it in, you get it back, you don't have your power cord. What are you going to do? We told you not to send the power cord. I did send the power cord. You didn't send it back. These things happen. That's what you're consigning yourself to. And so one of the things that we are trying to do at Schrock is we are continuously finding ways and looking for ways to be useful to you in the long term. And I have to tell you guys, the maintenance checkup special is one of the biggest ways that we do that. We try to do it twice a year because you're supposed to have maintenance on your computer every 6 months. I know there's a lot of you listening right now that have not had maintenance every 6 months, either because, one, you figure, I'll just buy a new computer when this one breaks. Have you looked at the prices of new computers recently? And I don't mean the bargain ones at Walmart that aren't going to last or isn't going to work well. Look at the price of a decent computer, something that's going to last, that's going to work well for you. They're not deflating like they used to. In fact, the technology is kind of staying the same, and so is the price, and that's very unusual. Normally, the price of new computers drops about 11% per year for a given technology level. So you can get 1 or 2 gen old technology at a pretty good deal on special. Right now, you're getting 4th gen technology or garbage tech that was manufactured to be sold for $300 or $400 a piece. It's insane, the stuff that's happening right now in the market. With that said, the best policy, I'm not trying to sell you a computer. I'm not trying to sell you a new hard drive. I'm not trying to do anything. The best thing that you can do is take care of what you have right now, because we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. And I've said this for years. You never know, guys. My dad always taught me, take care of your stuff. One of the things that's interesting about life is it's a cycle. And for the longest time, my entire life for the most part, all the lessons that my dad taught me about save your money for a rainy day, were all completely wrong, because savers have been penalized for the last 20 years. You actually lost money putting it in a savings account, regardless of whatever interest rate you got. Doesn't matter. The Fed's interest rate right now is technically negative, given inflation. We're still at negative interest rates, given inflation. So what interest rate are you getting in your account that exceeds inflation right now? Are you over 14% up? That's what it takes. And I'm not going to get on the soapbox on inflation. That's an aftershock thing we can do later. But what I am going to point out is now the world is changing. And as the world changes, some of the lessons that my dad taught are ringing back in my head again. Save your money for a rainy day, because, there might be something you want to buy later. And save your money for a situation that comes up that's unexpected. Prepare, be ready. Part of that is taking care of what you have now so you can make it last as long as possible. If you have a Windows 10 computer, you can use that sucker till 2025, October of 2025. You can ask Santa in 2025 for a new computer, and you'll be right on time. So if you have a Windows 10 computer, you better take care of it if you want it to last to 2025. If you buy a Windows 11 computer, there's no expiration date on that. But if it's a laptop especially, we got to make sure those fans stay clear, because if those heat pipes get too hot, they are permanently damaged. It's not like, it got hot, now I can let it cool off. It doesn't work that way. It never cools right again. And every time that it happens, it gets worse. So bring it to us. Let us take a look at it. I implore you, if you don't have the time to do it right now, check out SchrockInnovations.com, get a certificate, do it on your schedule, do it when it works for you. 888-250-2091. Coming up on the program today, we have a cool way for you to save everywhere you shop online. It's an app that I've been using for a long time. They're not paying me to talk about it. but it's cool and it works and you get some rewards and stuff like that. And I thought I would share it with you. So we're going to tell you about that. Also, we've all heard about the government potentially banning TikTok. Very few of us understand why. And so I'm going to briefly explain to you, because what's going to happen is if something happens with TikTok and it gets banned, the crying and gnashing of teeth from those in the younger generations is going to be immense. People have built entire businesses for themselves on TikTok, and they're just going to be gone. So we're going to tell you why what is happening, and whether or not it's likely that it's actually going to get banned. Also, there's a new privacy feature inside of Firefox that is going to win you over from being a Chrome user. We're going to tell you about that coming up on the show as well. 888-250-2091. Got to take our first break here, guys. When we come back, Tom, your call is first up. Coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations can't teleport technicians to you, but online help is only a click away with the Schrock Desk. Subscribe today and get unlimited help whenever you need it. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. Compute This Pro Tip 843. Of all computer failures, the scariest and most expensive is the hard drive. But there are some steps you can take to save money and save your data before it's too late. Detecting failures early is important, so install a free utility like Drive Advisor from driveadvisor.com to monitor your hard drive's health and receive warnings when there's a problem. But most of all, hard drive failures happen slowly, so early detection is key to reducing the repair bill. Second, if your hard drive makes any unusual noises, immediately turn off your computer and do not turn it on again. These issues are physical problems, and the more you try to use it, the worse the damage becomes. Remember that most computer repair shops do not have the specialized equipment needed to recover data from a failed drive. Never open your drive or allow anyone else to do so. Open drives always cost more to recover. Schrock does not charge for data recovery evaluations and quotes, so let the local pros look at your drive before you make any recovery decisions. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Maintenance checkup sale going on right now at Schrock. You can bring your computer in to any of our locations Monday through Saturday. We're open from 10 until 8, Sunday from noon to 5. Des Moines hours are a little different. We're closed on Sunday in Des Moines, so just a heads up there. But bring it in. No appointment required. You just drop it off and we take care of it. If it doesn't work for you, grab a certificate, bring it in at your convenience. Tom, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Good morning, Thor.
Morning.
Thanks. I want to know, how long does that maintenance check take usually?
The maintenance checkup can start to finish. It depends on what you have. So if we're going to test a hard drive, for example, the surface of a drive, and you've got a 16 terabyte mechanical hard drive, it's going to take a minute. If you have a 240 gig solid state hard drive, it's going to take about 15 minutes. So the entire checkup averages around 8 hours from start to finish. That doesn't mean we're going to have it back to you same day. I'm not guaranteeing that. We quote 24 to 48 hours is what we quote. We do try to under promise and over deliver, but that's a good time frame, a good idea. You're going to have it back next day or the day after at the latest.
Good. I haven't done my taxes yet, so I'm just mindful of, okay, if I get it in there, what's it going to take, and then I can get that done.
Yep, I hear you. I think they filed an extension for me this week too. So
I'm a little frustrated because I called in to your store Friday afternoon just because I had a charge in my account. I wanted to make sure, very reasonable cost. It was my yearly subscription, but I wanted to make sure that's what it was. And I wish they would have just said something. We've got the maintenance sale going on.
You know,
then I'd have been ahead of it.
I've debated this. Like, Have you ever called a store and like, especially a clothing store? I worked in clothing when I was a kid. My dad had a job there, so I kind of got a job at the. It was called Rep Big and Tall. Now it's called Casual Male XL, I think, or something like that. But it was the Big and Tall store, right? And I'm working there, and you'd answer the phone, and they're like, "Thank you for calling Rep Big and Tall, where men's suits are now 44% off, and casual polos are now 22% off, and jeans are buy one get one. How can I help you today?" And you're just like, you had a script, and you had to read it every time you answered the phone. And I've, thought about it, but I don't know. You might have something there. Maybe we try to get on the radio and do it. We try to do it on Facebook. In fact, I noticed the Facebook graphic has an issue where it's like now, going on it's supposed to be through the end of March. It says through the end of MA. I mean, that's how fast it ends. Like we can't even say March. It's just done. But it's going through the end of the month. You can bring it in at your convenience, or like I said, if it doesn't work out to get it in the next 10 days here or whatever, you can always pick up a certificate online and bring it in when it's convenient for you, Tom.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. And that puts Tom in the drawing, that sly fox, for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Right now, he is a shoe-in, as you would say. All right, number to join us, just like Tom, 888-250-2091. So a cool way to save money. When you go to a website and you want to buy something, have you ever had to go and look for a coupon code? So you go to the website, you're done shopping, and you see a box that says promo code, and you think, I wonder if there's any promo codes. So then you open up another tab or another window and you search for promo code and you find like Retail Me Not or whatever, and you click on it and they're like, 44% off, and you click on it. But you see they get paid by referring you. So then another window opens that has, Amazon or whatever in it, or eBay or whatever you're doing. And then you have to go through and like get the coupon code and then go back to your original window, and it's just a pain in the butt. Well, what if there was an easier way to do it? That's where the app Honey comes in. So Honey is an app, and you can get this. It's joinhoney.com, joinhoney.com. I think PayPal has acquired them here recently or partnered with them in some way. But what Honey does is when you go to checkout, when it detects a promo code box, it pops up and says, do you want us to try promo codes? And you say yes, and it will go through and it'll cycle through every single promo code that it knows of to find you which one lowers the price to the lowest amount, and then it will apply that promo code. And if there are none, that's okay. Just for using Honey and letting them try, they award you points. And of course, these points can be traded for gift cards using PayPal and all kinds of stuff. You get points for all your shopping on Honey. So let me give you some examples. When I go and order my favorite cigar, and I go to FamousSmoke.com, well, guess what? There are promo codes. Who'd have thought? Okay, that's crazy. I bought an Antminer off eBay last night, and sure enough, there was an eBay promo code that saved me $25. Well, hot diggity, that's pretty cool. And you don't have to do anything. It's a little add-on that you install on your browser, and it runs in the background. So whenever you're shopping, it automatically pops up and does this for you. Not only that, but if you shop a lot on Amazon, have you ever noticed that sometimes if you switch between stores, you find a different price, a lower price, maybe a longer shipping time, but a lower price? And maybe you're okay with the longer shipping time for the lower price. Well, Honey will tell you if the thing you're buying is available at a lower price from a different store when you're shopping. It's an amazing little app. So check out joinhoney.com. Again, not a paid promo. They're not giving me anything for this. This is something that I genuinely enjoy using on my computer that I thought you might like to know about also. 888-250-2091. Stick with us through the bottom of the hour, because when we come back, we're going to explain exactly what in the world is going on with TikTok, why everyone's so concerned about it, and is it really going to get banned? We're going to talk about that. Also, a new privacy feature in Firefox that you're going to love. It's going to convert you from being a Chrome user. I guarantee it. We're going to tell you about it coming up next on Compute This.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This Pro Tip 578. Technology is constantly changing, so how can you tell when the time has come to recycle your old outdated computer and invest in a new one? Experts have rules of thumb and formulas, but Schrock believes the answer is simple. You should replace your old computer when it can no longer do the things you need in a secure way. For example, you should not be using operating systems like Windows XP or Vista because they're no longer maintained by Microsoft and they're not secure. And if your computer cannot run Windows 10, it's probably time to begin saving for a replacement. If your existing computer requires a repair and that cost is 50% or more of the cost of a new computer, it might be time to consider a replacement. But keep in mind, additional costs like data transfers and important software you have to upgrade like genealogy software or Quicken. And also keep in mind that modern computers are engineered to last 18 months for a normal user. And don't worry, you are considered a normal user. Schrock modular PCs and solid-state laptops are specifically designed to last 4 to 6 years for that same normal user, saving your family money and time. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. Former President Trump says he expects the New York City DA will have him arrested Tuesday for alleged hush money payments made during the 2016 campaign. Meanwhile, in Tulsa, Oklahoma last night,
former President Donald Trump and Senator Mark Wayne Mullen watched the NCAA Wrestling Championships not as politicians, but more as old friends. Mullen invited Trump to be his personal guest. He and Governor Kevin Stitt welcomed him to the BOK Center Saturday.
Alex Cash of Fox 23, Tulsa. Social unrest leads to more violence in France.
Police in Paris clashing with protesters for a third night over pension reform, leading to more destruction and dozens of arrests. Protesters demanding the resignation of President Emmanuel Macron after the government approved a rise in the state pension age without a vote in Parliament.
Fox's Marianne Rafferty. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Mostly sunny this afternoon, a high of 49. Southwest winds could gust as high as 25 miles per hour. Partly cloudy, breezy, 29 overnight tonight. Sunny on Monday with a high of 51, and then for Tuesday, a 50% chance of rain, breezy with a high around 50. There's your forecast. I'm Roger Olson.
Alrighty, folks. Woo! Hope everybody got their drinks refilled and the popcorn popped, and I hope Winston got Maggie some really good donuts because we got another half, guys. So let's get her done. Welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. 888-250-2091 is the number to call to get free puppies and cappuccino. 888-250-2091. That was a lie. There is no free puppies or cappuccino, unfortunately. But I will brew you some coffee. I'm becoming quite the barista at home. I went through one of the coffee drive-through things and I ordered 2 coffees. And they said, your total is $12. And I was like, what? And they're like, sir, you obviously don't do this very often, but your total is $12. Pay up deadbeat. And I'm like, okay, wow, I'm not paying $12 for 2 cups of frozen coffee. And it's mostly ice. I can make ice at home, And so I did. I started making ice. And then I started making coffee. Then I started making iced coffee, like coffee ice cubes. Actually take the coffee and pour it into an ice cube tray and freeze it. And then when you blend it, you can make some wicked strong iced coffee. It's pretty fun stuff. It's like espresso iced coffee where each ice cube is a shot. It's pretty fun. My wife never drank coffee before, and all of a sudden she's like, these are coffee smoothies. These are kind of good. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So now she's like, today, she goes, I want to experiment. I want to try something new with the coffee this morning. I want to do this, that, or the other. I'm like, okay, we'll give it a try. It's kind of fun. But yeah, I digress. Saving money is fun, and that's why I like the Honey app. 888-250-2091 is the number to join us on the program today. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention to you that the maintenance checkup sale, if you're just tuning in, is still going on. that you can still get in on it and save 40% off the maintenance on your laptop, desktop, your Mac, your all-in-one. If it's a computer, it needs maintenance. If it's a server, it needs maintenance. Literally everything you have that's a computer will run for a very long time. It's kind of like a refrigerator. It runs for a long time until it doesn't, and when it stops, it's usually pretty catastrophic, and it's right before somebody's birthday. That's just how it works. Or a long weekend, Easter, Thanksgiving, that's when it happens. So maintaining your stuff is important to make sure it continues to work the way you expect it to work when you expect it to work. And that's what we have going on, 40% off on those right now at Schrock. You can bring your computer in. No appointment is required. If you bring your laptop, be sure to bring your power cable with. We do test that as well. They can fail as well. We test those during the maintenance checkup. Great example. If I'm streaming the show here, I have a holiday special laptop, and if I'm streaming the show on battery, the computer's trying to save the battery, and your stream quality is awful. It'll hiccup. It's bad. If I put the power cord on it, everything works great. Now imagine your power cord is not putting out enough amperage. So when you turn off the computer, it's charging the battery up. So you may not even realize your power cord's not working right. But when you're using the computer, it's running at 50% of its normal speed because it doesn't have enough power. Those are the kind of things that you're not going to, there's no program that's going to tell you that. You got to have a human being in a multimeter to sit there and go, touch. Oh, look, 19.5 volts. We're good to go. That's what we do during the maintenance checkup. It's kind of cool. We should make a video of it. It's like when you get the video of the guy at Jiffy Lube, pulling out the dipstick and looking at it like, yeah, all right, good to go. It's dumb, but it illustrates what happens in part during an oil change or during a maintenance checkup. Now, one of the things that we wanted to talk about that I thought we should talk about on the program today, because it's in the news, it's relevant, and it's a little confusing, is the situation with TikTok. What is or what can the TikTok app lift from your phone? And this is, I understand that there's a whole nother level to this story in the CCP in communist China. There's a whole nother level here. But let's keep it to tech. Let's keep the politics out of it for just a minute and say, what kind of information can any app lift from your phone? Not just TikTok. Any app, like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, WhatsApp, all these things, Google Chrome. What can these apps lift from your phone? Okay, so when you install an app on your device, whether it's a phone or a tablet, it asks for permission. And the permissions that it needs are usually things like, I need access to the camera, I need access to the microphone. TikTok's going to want those because it needs, you're going to do TikToks. You need the camera and the microphone to make videos, right? So it's going to need that. It's going to need access to your storage because it's going to have to save the video. You might shoot a video from within TikTok rather than shooting the video with your camera and then opening TikTok and uploading the video. You might just do it right there from the TikTok app because it's easier and there's effects and filters and all kinds of cool stuff. So it needs access to that. When you install TikTok, it's a social network. So it's going to want to find out if any of your friends also have TikTok so that you can hook up, that you can see each other's videos. So it's going to ask for access to your contacts. It's going to ask for access to your logs, who you've sent text messages to, who you call, things like that, and your people, the contact list, so that it can build and try to suggest people to you that you know so that you can connect on TikTok. All very legitimate uses of data for a social media app. Facebook asks you the same stuff, as does Twitter and Instagram and everybody else. Snapchat, they're all the same. Signal, which is a really safe app. I love Signal. Would highly recommend that everybody listening stop using the text messaging that's built into your phone and switch to Signal. And it's beautiful because when you're on my contact list on my phone and you switch to Signal, I get an alert that's like, so-and-so switched to Signal. And you're just like, they've seen the light. Oh, and now I know they're awake. They're awakened and they're ready. Because you know that when you send a text message that somebody's reading everything you send, right? Unless you use Signal and it's encrypted and then it's not. Beautiful. But you only have to worry about that if you're sending bad things. Isn't that right, Thor? Or, you run a company and so you're sending, employment information back and forth, or, you're texting passwords to your wife for things, or, there's lots of reasons why you'd want your messaging to be completely encrypted and having no third party able to access it whatsoever. Getting back to TikTok, here's the concern. TikTok will want to also tag where your videos were shot. That's your geolocation. This is why now we're getting to the point why it's being banned on government phones. Imagine that you are a member of Congress, for example, or one step back. Let's say you are the aide of, because we all know that members of Congress are too darn old to understand TikTok. So let's say that you're the aide to a member of Congress and you have TikTok installed on your government phone so that you can shoot TikToks of your, centurion, politician person and post them online and make them look, or her look, young and hip and cool, right, with filters. So now if I am China, because TikTok is owned by ByteDance, and ByteDance is a Chinese company. So as you know, if you are a company in a communist country, China has a unique model. They're not pure communist. It's more of a communist crony capitalism kind of hookup where China can come in and do whatever they want. The government can come in and do whatever they want, which is why any deal that says, we're going to put protections in place to make sure that the data doesn't get accessed. If you can put the protections in place, you can take the protections out of place. And if the Chinese government comes in and says, take the protections out of place, you're going to do it. So, because you don't want to die, or be re-educated or whatever, sent off to have your organs harvested with Uyghurs. You don't want to have any of those things happen. So you're going to do it. This is where it comes into a problem. Now, if you're an aide to a congressman and China has access to all that metadata from your phone, do you remember how ticked off everybody was when we found out that our own government was harvesting metadata illegally? That's the whole reason Edward Snowden blew that whole bomb up and left the country, because the U.S. government was illegally spying on every single one of us. And we were all upset about it. But everything's fine as long as it's a cool app and China's doing it. We don't really care what China wants to do. But you see, what you don't understand is China isn't thinking about their sphere of influence within China. They're thinking about their sphere of influence within the world. You see, in their mind, China already runs the world. And it's one of those. You ever heard one of these guys at the seminars, and they're like, "Visualize it, and it will be. If you want the house, visualize the house, and it will manifest for you." The power of visualization. Well, China is visualizing the heck out of things, and they visualize themselves as being in control of the entire world, which is why you have Chinese police departments being illegally opened in countries around the world, so that when they see something happening through nefarious means, through spying, they can dispatch someone domestically to go put an end to it, regardless of what country it's in. So there's a significant risk of having this on government devices for obvious reasons. So we ban it on all government devices. But what about people? What about individual people? You see, the government is made of these things called individual people. And the individual people who are not in government right now could be in government at some point in the future. So if we monitor all of them, eventually, some of them are going to be government people. And they're going to know how to use our app, and they're going to have it on their phone, and we're going to have a plethora of data that we can collect on these people and know exactly where they're at and what they're doing and who they're meeting with and how long the meetings are lasting. All kinds of great information. So is it going to get banned? This is an interesting moment in history for a lot of reasons. And I think that's going to be made very plain to us next week. It's an exciting time to be on the radio, guys, because there's next week is going to be earth-shattering in a lot of ways. So if you ban TikTok, there are people who literally have built their lives around being influencers on TikTok. There are all kinds of recipes and legitimate uses for TikTok. What you don't realize is the TikTok that you see here in America is not the TikTok that they see in China. In China, TikTok is used to disseminate educational materials, educational videos, informative videos, propaganda videos. You're not going to go see, spring break wet T-shirt contests on TikTok in China. You're going to see that in America. You're going to see that in Europe. You're going to see that in all the Western countries, but not in China. So there's two different versions of TikTok. The version of TikTok that we have here is popular among young people. And when you ban that, when it start, think about Parler. How they're going to ban it, Thor. Think about what they did to Parler. All you got to do is remove it from the app stores. Done. It's gone. You can't sideload on an iPhone. And how many people technically know how to sideload an app on their Android? It's done. With nobody using TikTok, maybe the phones out there that still have TikTok installed on them will still work. But every year as people buy new devices, the number of people running TikTok will drop lower and lower and lower until it is no longer significant. Facebook, Twitter, they're all for this because, of course, this means more competition for their platforms, or more eyeballs for their platforms, I should say, less competition. So they're all for it, for the wrong reasons, but they're all for it. Imagine the politician that ticks off every college kid, and let's call it every person under the age of 25. Who is even remotely politically aware, is going to know why TikTok disappeared from their device. And they are not going to be happy about it. When do politicians do things that make people unhappy? Especially when you can kick the can down the road. So the cynic in me says that this is not going to get banned. The dad in me, the adult in me, the person who looks at the long term, as we talked about during the first segment, rather than the short term, understands why it's vitally important, not only that we ban TikTok, but that we put regulations in place to prevent other apps from collecting and aggregating data in this way. Any app. Because if it's not TikTok, it'll just be something else. Another app will come along, or China will acquire a company that has all the data, and then boom, there they got it anyway. So there's a lot of different ways for this to cut. But in the long and the short of it, when you hear talks about the bans on TikTok, it's interesting. I wonder if we look at the politicians who are calling for bans on TikTok, I wonder if they actually have a TikTok account. Maybe their staff has set one up because that's how kids communicate. It's going to be an interesting thing to take a look at. 888-250-2091. I'm going to take a break here, guys. When we come back, Firefox has a new privacy feature. This new privacy feature was released this week. It is awesome. It's working so well. It is getting rave reviews from across the internet, so much so that one reporter on ZDNet said he was a solid Chrome user, but Firefox is now the most secure, compatible browser. The Tor browser is the most secure browser you could possibly use, but it runs like a dog. Chrome is the least secure browser, secure in that it's secure from outside influence, but Google knows everything. So from a privacy standpoint, it's the least private, I should say. It would be Chrome. And Firefox is the bright, shining example of a browser that has privacy features built into it, run by a company who doesn't really care what you're looking at. And we're going to tell you about that new feature coming up next on Compute This.
Drive Advisor is a free program from Schrock Innovations that monitors your hard drive's health and tells you if it's going bad. Download it for free at driveadvisor.com. In 1798, Eli Whitney's Connecticut Musket Factory was the first business in North America to use replaceable parts in a firearm. Before Eli's factory, if your musket broke, you had to send it away to an expert gunsmith for repairs, or just toss it and buy a new musket. Technology manufacturing has come a long way since the 18th century, but you wouldn't know it by looking at today's big box store computers. Dell, HP, Sony, and other manufacturers continue to take away your freedom to upgrade and repair your computer by eliminating expansion and repair options. Some desktops are even powered by a tiny laptop adapter. Schrock Innovations believes in Eli Whitney's idea of interchangeable and replaceable components, and that's why our custom-built modular computers last longer and cost less to repair than computers you see at big box stores. Ask your friends and family how often they replace their box store computers, and they'll probably tell you every couple of years. And what do they do with the old machines? They just get thrown out like broken muskets. Imagine a place where your computer's problems can be fixed quickly and inexpensively. Imagine keeping your computer for 6 years or more. You are imagining the kind of computers we build every day at Schrock Innovations. Our modular systems last longer, perform faster, and cost less over the long term than anything you can buy at a big box store. While the talented technicians at Schrock Innovations can't make you a musket even if they tried, our commitment to the freedom offered by modular computers is the modern-day extension of Eli's innovative musket factory. We think Eli Whitney would be proud, and you can take pride in owning a small piece of American innovation, the modular computer from Schrock Innovations. Compute This Pro Tip 178. Those little life-saving surge protector strips are vital to your computer's health and should be used whenever possible, even for laptops. As computers get smaller and more powerful, they're also becoming more sensitive to dirty power, and your power is a lot dirtier than you might think. Even if you have a whole home surge protection, most power surges are generated within your own home. If you've ever vacuumed and seen the lights get dimmer and brighter, you created a surge. Surge protectors can only absorb so much energy measured in joules. When that capacity is exhausted, your surge protector becomes a glorified extension cord and needs to be replaced. You should always look for surge protectors that give audible alerts when they're no longer able to protect your equipment. Schrock recommends these because the lights on most strips are just power lights and they don't tell you when it's time to replace the unit. If in doubt, replace your surge protectors annually to keep your expensive TVs, computers, and other electronic equipment safe. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, final segment of the program coming up here, but it doesn't have to end here. Now, I've got my son's birthday this afternoon. My daughter did not sleep worth a darn last night. She's a special kiddo, and for whatever reason, her brain just decided that we were not going to have Delta waves at all last night. So I'm running on low sleep, and I got a birthday party. My wife's running on low sleep. She's going to need me home, so it's not going to be an aftershock. I paid it forward, though. The last couple weeks, I went 2 hours, guys. So we won't be going 2 hours. It's going to be a quick one. But there's some stuff that's happening that is going to that we should probably talk about. Also, we're going to preview the appearance that I'll be doing on the KFAB station from 2 to 6 starting for the next 2 weeks, starting tomorrow. So it'll be interesting there. You can check that out. I have indications that we will be streaming this at facebook.com. On the KFAB page. I don't have the password yet, though, so sit tight on that one, guys. I'm ready to stream if we're going to do it, but you can watch it there if you're outside of the standard KFAB listening area. 888-250-2091 is the number to join us on the program today. All right, so I talked to you about this new thing from Firefox, and it's pretty impressive because Firefox has had this for its desktop browser for some time. And one of the things that everybody overlooks is if you get an iPhone, you just use Safari, right? Maybe you install Chrome and use Chrome instead. If you have an Android device, you have the little globe, you just tap on it, use whatever browser comes with the phone typically. But you don't realize you can install other browsers on your phone. So Firefox has had the cookie jar in their desktop browser for a while now. What is the cookie jar? The cookie jar separates every website to a separate cookie jar. And they can drop whatever cookies into that jar they want to drop. And the cookies will work within the confines of that site. So for example, if you add stuff to your shopping cart on eBay and you're not signed in to your eBay account, when you close your browser and you reopen it and you go back to eBay, it's still in your shopping cart. How does that happen? Cookies. Now, if you're using Chrome and you close Chrome, but instead you open Firefox instead or Safari, and then you go to eBay, the stuff is not in your shopping cart. Why? The cookies can't be moved between browsers. But what happens is as you accumulate cookies in your browser, each website that you go to can look at the cookies from previous websites to see where you have been. And it's one of the ways in which we can build an advertising profile about you and deliver better quality ads, because we all know there's a significant issue in the quality of ads. If I get one more ad about replacing my windows, I don't know why the internet thinks I need new windows, but I mean Windows, like instead of a W, it's like 4 backslashes, like // window to make the W. And it's like, you guys, come on. I shouldn't have to take 4 backslashes and make it as like this is a spam warning. But I do, and they still get through. It's almost as bad as the lines of credit for your business ads. I mean, it's awful. So the Firefox cookie jar stops a lot of this from happening by segregating the cookies that you get as you go and you browse through. So if you go to eBay, you get cookies from eBay. Then if you move on and you go to Amazon, in Google Chrome, Amazon can see the cookies from eBay. So Amazon can look at what's in your shopping cart on eBay and maybe suggest things on Amazon that are similar. Maybe take a sale from eBay, Maybe you're price shopping. Well, if you're using Firefox, everything's in a cookie jar. So when you go to eBay, it saves all those cookies in the cookie jar. Then you go to Amazon, and Amazon says, no cookies. Guess we're going to have to figure out what to show you on our own, because it can't access the eBay cookie jar. And everything same likewise with Amazon. All the Amazon cookies go in the Amazon cookie jar. eBay can't access the Amazon cookies. And more importantly, Google. When you go to any Google site or any page that has a Facebook thumbs up button on it, that button allows them to access all the previous cookies, even if you don't click the button. But if you're using Firefox with cookie jars, all they can access is what was put on the page on that website. Now, here's the thing. You can get Firefox for your mobile phone as well. This is what I do, actually. I use Firefox as a password manager. Everyone says, what's your favorite password manager? I'm like, Firefox. What's your favorite bookmark manager? Firefox. Why? Because I can install it on my computer. I can install it on my devices. I can log into my Firefox account. It's by default protected by two-factor authentication. And then I don't have to remember. All my passwords are saved across all my devices. All my bookmarks across all my devices. It's beautiful. And now Firefox for Android just got cookie jars. So now you have a mobile browser that has the same ability to protect your privacy from other websites that might intrude upon it in Firefox. Now, a lot of you use the Duck browser. I also have the Duck browser installed. When I do something that is going to require a password, if I'm going to buy something, things like that, credit card data, all that stuff, I'll use Firefox. If I'm just surfing the internet looking for cool news stories to talk to you guys about on the radio, I'm using the Duck browser for that, because the Duck browser doesn't let nothing through. And behind a VPN with the Duck browser, my privacy is super secure. It's so secure, in fact, that most websites don't even let me look at what's on their website, and most news sites, because there's a paywall and it can't figure out how many articles I've read, because we don't know. So it's kind of interesting. But anyway, the Firefox cookie jars are definitely something you should take a look at for your mobile device. So if you want to try them out, all you have to do is install Firefox on your mobile phone. Just go to your App Store or the iTunes Store, wherever you want to go, get Firefox, install it on your device, try it out. And if it works and you like it, great. If it doesn't, you can just long press on it and uninstall it. No harm, no foul. It's a nice, secure way to keep track of what's going on your phone, basically, from passwords and everything else and bookmarks, while at the same time, this new cookie jar protection will help keep you safe. Tom, congratulations as the sole caller to the program today. You are by default the winner. I didn't even have to draw. I mean, I have Tom, and it's just Tom. So, Tom, you're going to get yourself a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Marissa in the Papillion Service Center is going to get that together for you. So if you were planning on buying a maintenance certificate, give Papillion a call, talk to Marissa. She'll get you that discount right off the certificate. Save her the trouble of mailing it out to you. All right, guys, stay tuned for the Aftershock coming up next at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Also, love to have you guys listen next couple weeks on 1110 KFAB from 2 to 6. We won't do computers, but there's some news to talk about.
From the Amish Furniture of Nebraska studio.